Hello and welcome back to Live GP here on MotoGP 23, and today we're starting a bit of a series. We're going to try and go from the bottom rank that we're currently in, Bronze 3, all the way up to the top rank Legend. Now, it's going to take one hell of a long time because you get very few points for actually completing a race, because if you look at my statistics here, you can see I've got 5 races, 4 of them I've been on the podium, and I'm still in the bottom rank. I'm 3 points away from the next rank, Bronze 2, and you start off with 1,000 points. That just shows you how little I've got. I've got 97 points, and you only need 100 to get out of Bronze 3, and we're still in the bottom one here. And once we got into the lobby, just to drive home how little points you get, we've got this rider here, Baba Yaga. They've done 52 races, 33 of which have been on the podium, and they're still in Bronze 2. That just shows you how few points you get. He's got 9 wins as well. It is ridiculous. You just do not get any points for this game mode, which makes it really, really difficult. But anyway, we may as well focus on the actual event that we've got today. We're actually racing at Laguna Seca, a track that we don't actually get to play too much in these games. I don't think I've played it at all actually in this one, and even in the last one I've only played it a few times. I think like the last time I did it was probably 9 season 2009. So without any further ado, let's head into qualifying for this Laguna Seca Live GP. So here we are then for qualifying at Laguna. So this is the first time I've actually been inside the RNF garage. Got to say, it is rather green. I think the last time I saw this garage would have been sort of in the mod before, which is obviously the one I made. So I haven't actually seen the official milestone one so far. Looks pretty good, it must be said. So of course, qualifying, I'm going to go with a soft rear tyre. Going to keep the medium front on because obviously, as we know in this game, it's literally impossible to make a soft front last. And I don't know why I've gone manually out the pits when I can just restart my flying lap. Although, I don't think I've played Laguna Seca at all in this game so far, so it will be a bit of a shock when we're just heading straight into it and trying to get on the pace immediately, especially in a competitive game mode such as this. But, you know, these are the joys of Live GP and playing some historic tracks. I must say, it is nice to actually see Laguna Seca on here, because, you know, there is a danger, of course, of it always being the same kind of tracks, but it's nice to see that there's actually some historic tracks on here as well, and wow, I've made a big mistake, and I've had contact. I don't know what that guy was doing, to be honest. I mean, obviously, I know I didn't particularly ride that section that well, but not sure what he was sort of brake checking me for. I guess he didn't know where to brake for the first corner, but he certainly caught me off guard a bit, although, to be fair, I was having my own accident already. Right then, so let's try again. This time trying to go on the gravel immediately, and I've still almost done it. The bike just doesn't turn over that crest at all. And I've had another crash. Absolutely lovely. Really, really showing my skill here. So Baba Yaga has gone top with a 1 minute 21.1. I'm not actually sure how good of a time that is here. I think that is pretty decent, but I couldn't tell you because, of course, I've not done this track on this game at all yet. I was watching Moto America here, though, the other weekend. Well, it might have been last weekend, actually, at Laguna Seca. There's some good racing there, and it does make you miss Laguna, it must be said. It's a fantastic circuit. I really do like it. I can see why they don't come here these days. Obviously, it's a bit unsafe with how close the walls are, but still a really, really good flying track. Well, this was an absolutely terrible lap because I crashed twice. Once on the run up towards the corkscrew, and then once out the corkscrew. The bike just completely threw me off as I touched the brakes. So over the line, that's actually P5, so not last, fortunately. And again, we've... well, I have to go with the hard tyre this time because clearly the front tyre just is not working at this circuit. I know, obviously, I've made so many mistakes. I've also realised I haven't put a fresh rear tyre in this whole time, and I've got loads of softs, but I'm not going back to the pits again now unless I make another mistake. We're close up to somebody. Oh, thank you for kind of getting out of the way there. I don't think they're actually doing that on purpose, but they got out of the way, so it's fine by me, I suppose. As we go down towards the last turn, just need to try and keep it on 2 wheels, and we might be onto a decent position on the grid. It's not going to be pole because we're not under by enough, but it might be up there on the front row potentially. Well, there's only 6 people, so I'd hope it is on the front row. Where have we gone? P3, so it's not even P2. I actually still got a pretty decent way to the guy in front, so those two are pretty close, first and second. But I actually had to sweat so much just to get one lap in. It really does. This track actually highlights the physics issues with this game quite a lot, especially the whole picking up the bike thing, because it's so tight. It actually is a bit of a challenge here. I mean, this race will be an absolute crash fest. I mean, the amount of times I've crashed in this one qualifying session, and to be honest, probably all the crashes won't have even made it into the video. It just really shows you how much I'm actually struggling. Just jumped straight onto the MotoGP bikes, not touched them for quite a while, and I am suffering. And this bike actually feels quite bad. So I'm hoping that balance performance is not on. I can blame it on the RNF Aprilia, because it is absolutely all over the place. Like when I'm hitting the brakes, it feels like the ride height device is on. because when the ride-out device is on, the bike snaps really violently when you hit the brakes. But I'm deliberately keeping it off to try and balance out the bike, and well, that time it was just throttle application. Tell you what, it's been so strange. It's been snapping in weird ways that I wouldn't expect. Like, I'm really struggling with this bike right now. It is bizarre. Well, here we are then. It's going to be a slight improvement on this lap by the looks of it, but it's not going to be enough to improve in position. But up towards the line then. Finally managed to do another lap without crashing, but even still, it wasn't the best lap. So Baba Yaga on pole then by a decent way there, so I was clearly wrong when I thought they were close before. But we're not too far off the guy in front of us, so maybe we could try and get second place in this one. But the win is definitely off the cards with the way that guy was going. So for the tyres, we had to go hard on the front, medium on the rear. Obviously, it's a clear choice because the soft tyre isn't going to make it throughout a whole race distance. The hard tyre we needed just for qualifying, so I feel like this is going to be a bit of a pain. But I think we are going to struggle in this one, it must be said, because I'm struggling just to get the bike on the track, and then the other guys around us are really fast as well, especially Baba Yaga on the Aprilia. So I think we'll just see him disappear up the road, and maybe we could try and fight for second place with the guy on the Yamaha. So we get our nice little introduction here across all of the rows of the grid. It is a nice little camera angle, it must be said, and I think I said it in the previous video, it is very much like the one that they use in the MotoGP esports, if I'm not mistaken. But it is a bit annoying how it shows literally like every single rider. I mean, obviously in this case it doesn't matter too much because it's only 6 people, but when you got like a full lobby of 12, you have to wait quite a while before you can actually get into the race. And we seem to be waiting quite a while for this black screen to disappear. It's gone now. We're on the grid. I don't know where the lights are. The lights are there. The lights are now on. Waiting for them to get here for this race at Laguna Seca. Lights out and away we go. We had some massive wheel spin off the line. Well, I'll tell you what. The dominant pole sitter must have had some sort of lag or an issue off the line there because he didn't go anywhere. And we've got up to second place, and we've taken the lead around the outside into turn 1. Actually, turn 2, isn't it, the Andretti hairpin? Technically, turn 1 was 1. We did a massive wheelie through, and we've been taken out in the second corner of the race. Oh, my word. I think that guy might be lagging a little bit. I can now probably understand why his GP rating is so low compared to the number of races he's done, because his internet connection is absolutely horrible. Oh, and the fuel is already beeping at me. Come on, I've done like 2 corners, and I was already on the floor through one of them, and it actually wasn't my fault, which is a surprise, because I was expecting myself to just crash at like every corner. But I need this Thomas O'Neill guy. This Thomas O'Neill needs to hold up Baba Yaga so I can try and get onto the back of him, and, well, he's actually not done too bad of a job of that. I thought he was going to run straight in the gravel there, but he actually did hold him up on the straight a little bit, but not enough, unfortunately, and we've broke way too late. We've gone straight through the Rossi line. Well, not even the Rossi line. We've really cut the corner. And we've somehow got away with it. I'm really lucky that I didn't take out this guy in front of me, to be fair, because I was way out of control going into the corkscrew. Really just struggling to get the bike stopped. Like, the bike feels absolutely horrible. It's like the worst it's ever felt in the game. Maybe aside from, obviously, the first time I ever tried it, but yeah, this bike does not feel good. So I don't think balance performance is on in here, but it should be, because obviously you just pick the bike, so I don't know. Maybe they changed the physics in the recent update for the MotoGP class. I don't know, because I think this is the first time I'm playing it since the Moto2 update that ruined the AI came out. We're trying to make a pass here through the Andretti hairpin. Can we try to get around the outside into turn 3? It was risky and almost on the deck for me as well as I went down to first gear. I still haven't quite pulled it off yet. To be fair, this guy seems to have picked his pace up compared to qualifying. We're on the gas. Can we try and make the pass down towards turn 5? Oh, we've got him on the run into turn 5. On the brakes, up the inside. He's stuck on the outside. And there we go, up into P2. So back up to where, not actually where we started, I can't say where we started, but of course we started P3. So up into P2 now then, where we were very briefly in the race, for of course we had the collision at turn 1. Can we try and hunt down the race leader? That's the question. 11 laps at Laguna as well, obviously won't take as long as it does at most of the other circuits, probably one of the shorter live GP events. Well, to be honest, I've not been keeping an eye on the gap to the rider in front, but I've just seen that someone's a lap down in front. How is he a lap down? It's lap 3. How can you get lap to lap 3? It's almost impressive in a way, but there we go. To be fair, he's got out of the way. I think he must be new to the game, because I think he was also the guy that was struggling in qualifying, so hopefully you do find a bit of an easier time by the end of the race, my friend. But to be fair, I've got no complaints there. He got absolutely out of the way. It just was a surprise to see that someone was already a lap down so early on into the race, but of course, I suppose if you crashed at like every corner, then I suppose you do soon lose a lot of time. And we did actually make a couple of attempts inroads down to the leader, but I think I just threw it away at the rainy curve by going in a bit too hot. But yeah, I really can't place the bike where I want to. I don't feel very comfortable right now. I'm near the limit, and I'm not going very quickly, which is always when it's frightening. You're not going that quick, but then you're almost crashing everywhere. Although 20.3, I think that's quicker than what we did in qualifying, so we get it somewhere. We're now got 7 seconds behind as well. Needs to have made a big mistake at turn 2. I've just followed him. Picked up a trail limits warning. But yes, don't get too engrossed in the rider in front because you end up following them. Making the same mistakes that they do, of course, with him cutting that turn 2 a little bit. He's made another mistake on the exit of turn 4 there. So, he's feeling the pressure a bit, I think. I suppose, to be fair, he had pole by over almost a second, didn't he? So he probably thought he wouldn't be challenged too much. But we seem to have got our act together in the race. I think I'm just going to keep getting quicker as the race goes on. Although, again, the bike was horrible. Even on the maximum anti-wheelie here, the bike is wheeling way more than I would like. I suppose because it's all the crests. And he made a big mistake at the corkscrew. And on the gravel on our entry to Rainy as well. The gap is now under a second. So we're making some inroads here on Baba Yaga. Just going to try and not follow his lines. Just got to make sure I don't follow him because he's making quite a few mistakes now. So what is this lap time going to be? Actually, a 21, so much worse than the previous lap, but I guess that was because we both made a few mistakes. Over that crest, it's so sketchy because I think the rear tyre leaves the ground very slightly, and then as it comes back down, all of the RPM just hits the ground at the same time, and it starts to almost throw you off. It's dodgy. This track is really sketchy on this game. The physics do not suit it very well at all. The modern day stuff, it's not too bad, but the bikes do feel a bit of a handful here, and I think we're coming around to lap that guy again, or maybe somebody else that seems to be in the same spot. Is he going to make sure he's out of the way of me this time? I think he is. Thank you once again, my friend. He could maybe get in the way of Baba Yaga one time though. Oh, that was close to a high side. So we need to be careful not to throw ourselves off. And he's probably picked the pace up a bit on this lap, to be fair. He's stopped making so many mistakes, so I'm going to have to try a bit harder to keep with him. Which is bad because I was already trying pretty damn hard. It's probably why there's big gaps between different parts of the video here, because I'm just not saying a lot, so I'm trying to sweat to keep up with him. And we've just done the fastest lap of the race there, 20.2, so we must have still made some inroads on him, even though I felt like he actually pulled away from me on that lap. And he's made a big mistake there at turn 2, or turn 3, I don't know, whatever. I'm going to stop trying to keep up with the corner names. I think it was turn 3, to be fair, yeah. And we're now 6 tenths off of the race lead. But to be fair, catching is one thing, passing is another, especially when our pace has been really similar. It's not like we've caught him really easily. We've been pushing this whole race. We've barely made any inroads on him. Oh, there is another guy that's now a lap down, a Red Bull KTM. With emerges on the gravel. I suppose this is one of the shorter tracks on the calendar. So it is obviously going to be one of the easiest ones to get lapped on. I'm surprised he's not dipped into the 19s yet in this race. I kind of felt like 19s would have been quite easy for him based on the fact he did them in qualifying pretty quickly, but obviously that was more of a on the limit lap, and I suppose he's probably just trying to take his time to an extent, maybe trying to just keep a decent pace and hope that I make a mistake, which I guess is what I'm trying to do to him as well, just from behind. Oh, he's made a big mistake at the corkscrew. He went in a bit hot, and it kind of messed his whole run through there up. So here we are at the last corner. We got a pretty good drive, using a bit of power mode 3 because we saved a bit of fuel again as we come up towards the crest. I told her to roll off the throttle nice and early as we go down the hill towards the Andretti hairpin. We are closing. There's contact. I've hit him at the back. I do apologise, guys. Didn't expect to close on him that much, to be honest. I thought I actually braked relatively... I braked quite deep because obviously I was trying to make time up on him, but I didn't feel like I broke overly deep, but obviously I got caught out a little bit there. Closest I've been to him, so I suppose it's difficult to judge. But we both got away with it, so no harm done. Always wide through the Andretti hairpin. Oh, that's close. Been a really good second half of the lap there. Managed to close a lot of time back up to him. And oh, I locked the front. The front locked there. We're in the wrong gear because I didn't manage to get my gear shift. Again, the back marker got out of the way pretty nicely there. But we're running out of laps. We've literally got 2 and a bit laps to go. And he's made a big mistake through turn 5. We've got to get on the power now. Try and beat him down towards turn 6. But it's just so difficult. The track is not wide enough, really, to make a pass, even with him making these big mistakes here. Although he's made a mistake now, the run up towards the corkscrew. Can we do anything? No. You just don't lose enough drive when you make the mistakes, seemingly. And I've made a big mistake. Oh, again, so close to the back of him. I don't know how we managed to get away with that one, to be fair. I did a massive stop here. I thought I was going down. To be fair, we're really pushing now, but the thing is, I think we actually probably would be in a better state now if we weren't behind him. I think I'd be able to probably do slightly quicker lap times. He's probably holding me back a little bit now. The amount of mistakes I've made and then caught back up to the back of him now. But like I said earlier on in the video, catching is one thing, passing is very much another, and it's very, very difficult to pass at Laguna Seca with how tight the circuit is. Oh, I'm down. Yeah, it was going to happen eventually over the crest of the hill, and come on, the bike is still sliding. That is it, unfortunately. Race over for the victory. So here we are then, out the last corner. Baba Yaga wins here at Laguna Seca. We gave him a good run for his money, and we do the fastest lap on the final lap as well. But Yeah, it was tricky. It was a shame because we just couldn't get past him. There was nothing I could do. He wasn't making big enough mistakes, and the torque delivery is not there on this game. That's what I've said since day one. It's so difficult to pick up the power and get underneath people. When he's run wide, I can't actually even take advantage of it because I can't pick up the power early enough to actually overtake him. So, okay, well, the results screen has just changed, put me first, but him minus 4.8 in front of me. So I really don't know what's gone on there. That is a little bit strange. It's now corrected itself. That does make sense. But we were the only two riders to finish there then. I did get the fastest lap on the final lap, like I did say. But it certainly was a two-horse race. It's a shame to come out second best, but to be fair, he rode pretty well. But I think if I'd probably done a little bit of practice beforehand, I would have been in a much better state. Of course, I forgot that we get this little cutscene here, so there we go. I think we've finally got up to bronze 2 by the looks of it there. It looks like we've got the little bronze 2 symbol. Yes, we have gained 15 points. We get 15 points for that for a second place finish. I mean, I suppose, to be fair, we didn't ride very well, and I guess there's not that many people in the lobby, but again, it just highlights the lack of points you do get in this mode. I mean, you don't even get the championship points worth of the position. I mean, if you finish second in real life, you get 20 points. You only get 15 for that race there, so it does show you it's going to take a long, long time to get to the Legend rank. But there you go. That is our first episode of the Road to Legend series. I think it will take quite a while. Well, probably take more than a year. We probably won't ever get to Legend, but it's worth trying for anyway. I'd be interested to see how high up the order we can get. Hopefully we can at least get to gold or platinum or something like that, even if we can't make it all the way to Legend. But of course it is still early days of the game yet, so there is plenty of time. I hope you have enjoyed that one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you all stay safe, and I shall see you in the next one.